Hey guys, I have a problem, and as some of you probably have been yelling through your screens at me for quite some time, that problem is that I have no answer to chaos in the final map. By that, I don't just mean that I lack the super LTC answer to chaos that lets this map be cleared in 6 turns. I mean, I have been trying and I have not been able to kill chaos at all. So this video is going to be mostly a bit of a rant, and there's going to be spoilers for the final chapter. If either of those is a problem to you, feel free to click on the timestamp in the description to jump forward to where I talk about what I'm thinking about doing going forward. For the rest of us, well, here we go. Chaos is bullshit. Who approved this? This guy has 56 HP, 20 defense, and 16 magic, and Vajra cuts down any damage to him to a third, so he is ridiculously bulky. And he's no slouch offensively either. 31 attack isn't like super incredible or anything, but we have to stand up to that turn after turn after turn, because he has counter. And he has 22 attack speed and 60 sword skill, so not only that, he's also dodgy and accurate, and you're very unlikely to be able to get retry attacks if you happen to dodge an attack. So, let's talk about why this is bad game design. What's a player meant to do when faced with this? The first order strategy when faced with a tanky boss in a Fire Emblem-like strategy game is to isolate them and chip them down as safely as possible. This is tricky with Chaos because of the Berwick combat system, but okay, we have Paramithus, who's a super good healer, and we have some spectacular offensive tools. Let's give that a go. Wrong! There are a bunch of 5-range healers near him. But that's fine. It's good to counteract the first order strategy if you want a challenging boss. What's a player meant to do to fight back against this? Well, if healers are a problem, why not kill them off first? That seems like a reasonable, wrong again. You can't kill them. They're hidden away undercover, impossible to target with anyone who might one-round them. Okay, so maybe we could try doing some really big burst damage in order to outdo the healing. We did just get a way to get guaranteed critical hits, so that might be able to, oh wait, he has a special item that can block crits? Of course he does. Okay, but it breaks after a round in which it blocks a crit, right? Let's just do the 100% crit thing, and alright, it only has a chance to break, as if the RNG involved in hitting him wasn't frustrating enough. That's 2 second order strategies being blocked off by Chaos's design, and blocking off second order strategies is a really bad idea because it makes the challenges you're trying to design super frustrating. This is basic game design principles. So now I guess I need to talk about the elephant in the room. Throughout the story of this game, I've been hearing about the twin sword to Vajra, which is Vritra, and that can pierce through the damage reduction. I was happily looking forward to getting it ready for the final map and having an ultimate showdown of ultimate destiny between Faye and Chaos. I figured that if I did all the Faye related stuff like recruiting her and Faramir, they'd eventually find a way to turn it up. And I kept believing this all the way up until the final chapter appeared with no Vritra in sight. So, let's set aside the fact that Vritra is locked to Faye, who is so garbage strength-wise that she can't even one-round KO with Astra. Let's ignore the fact that you have to go out of your way with the one door key the final map cares to give you in order to get Vritra even if you did unlock the event. No, let's cut to the heart of this. Why is Vritra missable if you have Faye? The game made a boss nearly invincible to all forms of attack, and gave him healers to shut down wearing him down as a strategy for dealing with him. So why is his weakness locked away behind a random side quest that isn't even obviously connected to Faye or Chaos? So, if he had lower bulk, specifically HP, that would probably have been fine. If he didn't have counter, so you didn't have to take a massive hit on anyone who can decently damage him anytime they try to, great. If he had healers who could be targeted down before him, I love that. That would be amazing. If the civilian request to get Vritra was flagged, free Vritra's here, that would have worked. But none of these things are true. People call this game Kaga's masterpiece, but this is just an atrocity of bad game design. Oh, but other games do this too, you might say, Remember FE1 and FE2? Those have nasty mandatory bosses with single missable weaknesses too. Therefore, you can't complain about it here, you might finish smugly. Yeah, well, screw that. FE1 tells you halfway through the game, go get the fucking Star Sphere and Light Sphere and bring them to me so that you can get the big super weapon back from Garnev. If you check every chest and every map, you can't miss them. And more importantly, the game doesn't hide unlocking the event behind something completely unrelated. FE1 tells you to do the thing so that you can choose to do the thing if you feel the need. And if you choose not to do the thing, you can still fight Medius with other weapons if your stats are impressive enough. And you can target down his healers, since his throne doesn't passively heal him. And you can double him pretty easily to get some pretty decent damage if your strength is high enough. And he can't wander off and kill your fragile support units. So what about Gaiden then? That one hides Falchion away, and Falchion's actually pretty much mandatory this time, given that Nosferatu sucks ass. But you can't save yourself out of getting it in a run because you can't save during a battle. And Gaiden is a completely different game anyway. It's also about dungeon crawling. It rewards exploration of dungeons several times during the game in order to train the player to do that. You explore the dungeon, you find Falchion, you can kill Doom. But okay, even if I agree that those are absolutely just as terrible as Chaos, guess what? They are Famicom games. That was the golden age of obtuse nonsense in games designed to keep the kids occupied. A PS2 game is supposed to have learned from historical bullshit like that. But instead, it's worse. Why? Oh, but Clash, you might say. There's actually another game released at about the same time that also does this with its secondary villain. And that's a boss fight that you are on record as defending. And you might think yourself oh so smart for stalking my YouTube comments, but Chaos is not the Black Knight. The Black Knight is okay because the obvious answer for fighting him isn't the best answer, and figuring out the actual best answer to get around the RNG component of that fight made me feel smart. For Chaos, the best answer for fighting him is fucking obvious, but the game just doesn't give it to you. And furthermore, the Black Knight is optional. You do better to yell at me about Ashnard, but even then, the game gives you the Laguz Royals and the Dragons to fight him. The Royals come before his only phase on the most likely difficulties for a blind player to be playing on, and you aren't locked into your choice. If you pick Nasala's useless ass and you have to reset, you can choose Gifka next time. And Ike is likely to be able to take Ashnard on if you trained him, because you get given Ragnell for free, and Resolve showed up, also without precondition, 2 chapters ago. And the whole story is about Ike's coming of age, so a blind player is likely to train Ike up, because they're encouraged to by the narrative. That's good design. So even the shittiest final bosses in Fire Emblem aren't even in the same league as this bullshit. I wanted to like this game. I still do mostly like this game. I love how it makes me think about strategy differently to regular Fire Emblem. The story is absolutely fantastic. And even Chapter 9, which nearly made me quit this run months ago, would have felt perfectly fair if I wasn't LTCing it because apparently I'm a masochist. But this is a black mark. This is terrible design. So I set out to blindly LTC this game. And now I can comfortably say that I do not recommend combining any 2 of those things, let alone all 3. Okay, so the question is, what am I going to do now? The way I see it, I basically have 3 options. The first option is to just let this playthrough go. This will be the final word. I can quietly beat the game without bothering to record it or worry about turns, and that will be that. The second option is to actually record the final chapter, no matter how long it takes. In that case, I would probably be aiming to complete it in less than the turn floor of 6, plus the amount of extra turns it would have taken to go out of my way to get Vritra, so a target of 18 or 19 turns. And the third alternative would be to use save states to piece together as fast a clear as I could possibly manage, and save some of my sanity in the process. Right now, I'm leaning towards option 1, but I do apparently have people who watch and enjoy these videos. So if you have a strong opinion on which of those would be preferable to you, please feel free to let me know in the comments, and I will figure something out. Yeah, that's all for this one, I guess. I'll hopefully see you another time for another video. And screw chaos. Bye, everybody.